Welcome, you're watching Vox News, your daily news updates with Rita Kamkumo. Our headlines today: mass protests against police brutality continue in Nigeria despite the announcement of a series of reforms by the authorities. Guineans headed to polls on Sunday to elect their next president. At least 2 people were killed in election-related violence in Ivory Coast 2 weeks before the country's presidential election. Our top story today: mass protests against police brutality that began earlier this month in Nigeria continued over the weekend, despite the dissolution of the controversial special unit of the Nigeria police called SARS and the announcement of a series of reforms by the authorities. This Monday marked the 12th day of sustained nationwide street protests against police violence. On Saturday, citizens took to the streets of the biggest town, Lagos, to join the mounting protests. Over 10,000 protesters clogged the roadways, bringing the center of the usually traffic-filled city to a standstill. The wave of protests is the biggest display of people power in years in Nigeria, where young people are demanding genuine change. In Guinea, voters headed to polls on Sunday to elect their next president after months of bloody unrest.
I would like to advise everyone to be serene, to accept above all the result given by the National Independent Electoral Commission.
What is good in the country, may God give us that. That's what I wish, because we have started it.
Shortly after this election, there will be peace and each candidate must accept the winner and each Guinean must accept the winner as well.
12 candidates are in the running, but only the incumbent president Alpha Condé and Cellou Dalein Diallo, the leading opposition candidate, are said to stand a chance of winning the election. 82-year-old Condé is seeking a controversial third term in the election after pushing through a revamped constitution earlier this year, a move that triggered political unrest and deadly protests in the country. However, despite fears of election-related violence, Guinea's Prime Minister said on Sunday that voting took place without major incident.
No major incidents. Things went according to the rules of the Guinean Electoral Code. Small incidents here and there. If there are any, the minister will give you an update.
The Prime Minister urged all parties not to make a public proclamation of the results before the Electoral Commission and warned that public comments should be controlled so as not to heighten political tensions.
Everything must be done on both sides so that the commitment is real on the side of all the competitors. That the commitment is real not to make a public proclamation of the results before the CENI, because if this is done, it will create the conditions for the situation to deteriorate and get out of control. Public comments in both camps should be controlled to avoid adding fuel to the fire.
Citizens massively voted on Sunday and polls closed at 6 p.m. local time after a mostly calm day of voting, with the vote counting process beginning immediately after.
A lot of people participated. We had more voters than non-voters, as in previous years.
A lot of people came. So far we have used more than 3 packs of ballot papers. Each packet has 100 ballots. We are at 300 and something, around there.
The results of the election are not expected for several days. Meanwhile, Guinea's leading opposition candidate, Cellou Dalein Diallo, said on Sunday that he is confident of victory in the country's presidential election.
Vraiment, la population
The people have expressed their confidence and determination to bring about a change of leadership in my favor. I appeal to all my supporters to show restraint and responsibility so that this election takes place in the best possible conditions. I have no doubts about the outcome of the ballot, which is why I do not want violence to disrupt the ballot and compromise my victory to a certain extent. I am not worried about the outcome of the election. I have major concerns for peace and cohesion if Mr. Alpha Condé tries to seize power through cunning and violence. This will not be acceptable to our supporters and to the Guinean patriots who will have voted for change.
qui auront voté pour l'alternance. Je vous remercie.
President Condé, meanwhile, expressed hopes for a free, democratic and transparent election.
My hope is that the election will be free, democratic and transparent, and that everything will take place in peace and tranquility. We are going to make sure that the polling stations are safe. Guinea cannot develop without peace, security and unity. So we call on all candidates to avoid any act of violence. If some want to cause unrest, national and international awareness will be duly raised. We want the people of Guinea to be able to express themselves freely, to make their choice without any interference, and for the observers to play their role in order to verify that the vote went well. I hope that the observers from the Economic Community of West African States and the African Union will be able to go into the country to ascertain for themselves that the vote was transparent, democratic and free.
Sunday's vote followed months of political unrest in the West African country, where dozens of people have lost their lives during security crackdowns on mass protests against Condé's possible third term in office. In neighboring Ivory Coast, where the presidential election is scheduled for next week, residents of the city of Bongouanou reported on Sunday that the presidential election campaign degenerated into deadly inter-community clashes. At least 2 people were killed in election-related violence that erupted in the city located near the capital Abidjan, known as the stronghold of former Prime Minister Pascal Affi-N'Guessan. The opposition candidate said on Saturday that his house in Bongouanou was burned down, as well as several shops and restaurants during the clashes that erupted on Friday. Dozens of people were killed in inter-communal violence in August and September in several cities across the country after President Alassane Ouattara announced his decision to run for a controversial third term. On the health front, South Africa's Health Minister Mzweli Mkhize and his wife tested positive for coronavirus over the weekend. The minister said in a statement issued on Sunday evening that he has entered a quarantine period and that he remains optimistic that he and his wife will fully recover from the virus. The health minister was tested on Saturday after showing mild COVID-19 symptoms. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, the authorities reported on Saturday that the latest Ebola epidemic affecting the country's northwest province of Equateur is now under control. Professor Jean-Jacques Muyembe, the man leading the fight against the disease, said on Twitter that they are on the 16th day without new cases. According to Muyembe, treatment centers no longer have any Ebola patients, and only one of 13 affected zones remains under surveillance. 53 people have died since June in what has been the 11th outbreak of Ebola in the Central African country since 1976. On the environment front, the authorities in Tanzania reported on Saturday that the fire on the slopes of Mount Kilimanjaro was almost under control 6 days after it broke out. Tanzania National Parks Authority spokesperson Pascal Chelutete said that the fire is contained and that tourism activities continue as usual, considering that they were not affected by the fire, which spread over 95 square kilometers. According to the authorities, the fire, which has been spreading due to strong winds, erupted near Wona Camp, an area where tourists pass through to get to Africa's tallest mountain. So far, there has been no reported case of fatality, injury, or private properties being affected. Hundreds of volunteers, residents, and students have helped response crews tackle the blaze. On the sports scene, Uganda won its first ever gold medal at the World Half Marathon over the weekend. Uganda's 19-year-old Jacob Kiplimo bagged the historic gold medal at the 2020 World Half Marathon in Poland on Saturday. The long-distance runner finished the race in 58 minutes and 49 seconds in the men's category. Among his many accomplishments, the Ugandan athlete recently won the 5,000-meter race at the World Athletics Continental Tour in Ostrava, the Czech Republic, and the 3,000-meter race at the Diamond League in Rome. President Yoweri Museveni congratulated Kiplimo, saying that he has made the country proud. That's it for today. Thank you for watching Vox News.